Hello there, sweet friend. I'm so happy you're here. Whether you're listening from a cozy couch, nestled in blankets, or sipping tea as the birds chirp outside, welcome to your calm corner of the day. Today's story is soft, sweet, and made just for you. It's called Getting Robbed, but don't worry, it's not scary at all. In fact, it might just warm your heart. Let's take a little walk together to a quiet, tree-lined village called Maplewood Glen. There, tucked between wildflower fields and a sleepy forest, lived Miss Junie, a retired schoolteacher known for her warm smiles, soft cardigans, and homemade raspberry jam. Every Thursday, Junie packed a picnic basket with fresh scones, a gingham cloth, and a tiny wooden radio. She'd walk the gentle path behind her cottage to her favorite clearing, where wild daisies danced in the breeze and birds flitted through tall grass. That Thursday morning felt especially peaceful. The sky was brushed with soft clouds, and the trees swayed like they were whispering lullabies. Junie packed her basket as usual: cheese cubes, apple slices, 2 shortbread cookies, and a small book of poems. She tied her lavender scarf, laced up her shoes, and hummed a tune as she set off down the trail. But something odd happened. When she reached the clearing, her basket was gone. Not dropped, not misplaced. Simply vanished. Junie blinked. Had she forgotten it? Turned the wrong way? She looked around. The forest was quiet, the wind soft, the air smelled of sweet grass and pine. And somewhere nearby came a rustling sound. Something was about to begin. Junie stepped gently through the meadow, following the tiniest trail of breadcrumbs and cookie crumbs leading toward the forest edge. Her heart wasn't racing. Instead, it felt curious, like being part of a storybook. She tiptoed past tall ferns, lifting her skirt so the hem wouldn't catch. Each step was quiet. The birds overhead chirped kindly, almost as if they were cheering her on. A few feet in, tucked between 2 mossy stumps, she saw a piece of gingham cloth caught on a branch. Her cloth, and beside it, a paw print. "Ah," Junie whispered, smiling. "A forest robber." It wasn't long before she reached a hollow tree, and there, to her absolute surprise and delight, sat a chubby raccoon nibbling on a cube of cheese. Around him were 2 squirrels, a blue jay, and what appeared to be a very sleepy hedgehog curled on the cloth of her picnic blanket. Junie didn't speak. She just watched, one hand over her heart. The animals weren't scared. In fact, the raccoon waddled up and placed a half-eaten cookie gently near her feet, as if to say, "Thank you for sharing." She knelt slowly, her knees crackling just a bit, and set down her book of poems. "Well," she said softly, "I suppose you've never had lemon scones before." And so, Junie sat with the animals in the quietest part of the forest. She recited a poem, fed crumbs to the squirrels, and even let the hedgehog snuggle into the folds of her cardigan. No one had robbed her, really. She had simply been invited. The next morning, Junie woke early. The birds were singing louder than usual, and the sunlight danced through the window like it was excited. She stretched, tied her scarf again, and packed another basket, this time with extra berries and a note written in beautiful, looping letters. "To my woodland friends, thank you for the surprise. Yours truly, Miss Junie." She placed the basket on the same spot as before and stepped back, waiting quietly behind the trees. Within minutes, the rustling began again. The raccoon returned, followed by the same blue jay and the 2 squirrels. But this time, there was something else. A tiny twig sculpture, placed carefully where the basket had been. Junie gasped. It looked like a heart, with a flower tucked inside. From that day forward, Thursday picnics became something magical. She'd bring her basket, they'd bring pine cones or petals, and together, they'd share the morning in a gentle hush. The animals trusted her. She never tried to pet or tame them. She just sat. She listened, and in return, they let her belong. It was a friendship like no other. One Thursday, gray clouds rolled in. Junie nearly stayed home, but something tugged at her heart. She packed her basket anyway, this time with a jar of raspberry jam and a tiny spoon tied in twine. She walked the path slowly, umbrella in hand, and reached the clearing just as the first drops fell. The picnic spot was quiet. But then, a rustle, a chirp, a small thump. The raccoon appeared, soaked and shivering slightly. Junie opened her umbrella wider and sat down beside him. She unscrewed the jam and placed the jar between them. "You came in the rain too," she whispered. He dipped one paw into the jam and licked it gently. His eyes sparkled with mischief and gratitude. That afternoon, Junie stayed longer than usual, holding the umbrella steady as the animals came and went, sipping rainwater from leaves, hiding under toadstools, and occasionally sneaking a lick of jam. And when she finally walked home, her basket was lighter, but her heart was full. One sunny morning weeks later, Junie stood in her kitchen, a new basket ready beside her. But this time, she paused. She looked around her little cottage, the plants on the windowsill, the tea kettle humming, the soft ticking clock, and she smiled, because that day, she realized she had indeed been robbed. Robbed of loneliness, robbed of the ordinary, robbed of routine, in the best, most unexpected way. Her life was now full of shared silences, curious glances, and quiet picnics with creatures who asked for nothing but presents. So she slipped a new note in the basket that morning. "To my dear forest friends, thank you for stealing my heart. Thank you, gentle friend, for listening." If this story brought a little warmth to your heart, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, and come back again soon. There are always more gentle tales waiting for you here, where kindness is magic and the smallest surprises can change everything.